Today I'm going to go over my children's standardized test results. Okay, and I'm just going to go ahead and say that if you need to speed this video up, feel free, go ahead. Okay, but before I actually get started showing you the results, it's going to be a little while before I get to it. Okay, so I want to say that this was our first time ever taking this test. They have not had any practice test on it. Um, so this is the beginning of September right now. So we just started our 10th year of homeschooling. My children, my oldest just started 8th grade and my youngest just started 5th grade. Okay, so when they took this test, they took it in July, and this was for them entering 8th grade and entering 5th grade. Okay, but they had just finished 7th grade and had just finished 4th grade. Okay, all right, so let me give you a little bit of background. Okay, so our last school year ended the first week in May. I wanted them to take this test at no later than the end of May. That's really what I wanted, was by May 31st they'd take this test. Well, that didn't happen. They did not take the test until about the first week in July. So for about 2 months, they had not had any schoolwork. School was over, summer was on. So there was no schoolwork. And we didn't get around to taking the test until the first week in July. So I got the results back about the second week in July. So I've had them back now for about 2 months, and I have really debated on whether or not to do a video on this. But I just kept feeling like a lot of homeschool moms and dads, they put a lot of burden and pressure on themselves, compare themselves and their children with public school and everything else and each other, and we shouldn't do that. But a lot of us have a tendency to do that. So I thought that for those of you that always feel like you're failing and, that you're just not doing good with your kids by maybe, maybe every year you switch curriculum. I just thought that this might encourage you and might give you some hope that, not all is lost. As long as you love your kids and you are really trying, you're not failing, period. Okay? All right. So that's the purpose of this video, is I want to just let this be an encouragement to you, okay? Because if you have followed me any, you know that as bad as I hate it, every single year, this is our 10th year homeschooling, every single year we do a different math program. Now we keep going back to Becca, okay? But I have a video somewhere that you can watch about all the different types of math programs that we have done. So keep that in mind when you're seeing these results. But just like an overview, like I said, this is our 10th year homeschooling. So just as an overview, I'll go ahead and tell you, I'll name off the different math programs we've used. We have used Abeka, Modern Curriculum Press. Well, we used Abeka for the first 2 years. Then we did Modern Curriculum Press, Rod and Staff. We went back to Abeka. And then the second half of that year, we didn't do anything, no formal book. We just focused on working on the multiplication facts. Then for a few months, we did Ray's Arithmetic. We went to Singapore, we went to Bob Jones, we went back to Abeka, and now we're in Saxon. So we have, used multiple different math programs, okay? And then language arts is about the same way, although not as bad. But before I go ahead and show you this, let me tell you that language, okay, like I said, this is September 2018, okay? The last formal, real language arts program that my kids had was in January 2017, okay? So it's been like a year, more than a year and a half was the last time that they had a real formal language arts program. And once we quit that in January of 2017, we just tried to do our own thing and try to do a Charlotte Mason way. And then we moved and everything. And then last school year, we tried to do a Charlotte Mason thing on our own. And, anyways, well, then back in February of 2018, we got the Good and the Beautiful. And so from February to May of 2018, we had a formal language arts program again. Okay, so there was a good, year and a half gap, gap of no formal language arts program. Okay, so keep that in mind and all the different math programs we've jumped around in mind as you're seeing these results. Because like I said, this is meant to be an encouragement to you because, if you're like we have been and went through different curriculums, this can encourage you. Okay, so that's all this video is about, is just to encourage you, okay? So let me go ahead and go over the sheet that they give you whenever they send your test results back. Okay, so the test that my children took, we bought the paper form from Christian Liberty Press, and I do have a video where I kind of go over this a little bit as well. I'll try to have these videos in cards or either down in the description box. Okay, so we bought it from Christian Liberty Press, and we took the California Achievement Test, the CAT test, CAT test, and it was the 1970 version. And in that video, I explained why I chose that. Okay, all right. So actually, before I read how they break the scores down, let me go ahead and tell you. When you purchase it from Christian Liberty Press, they want you, it's a timed test, okay? However, you can purchase the online version. I believe it's through Hewitt Homeschooling, and it's online, and it's the exact same test, but it is untimed, okay? Untimed. Anyhow, so I purchased the time test because I think it's important, for kids to know how to take a test with time. That's timed, Well, so my girls started taking the test, and I realized very quickly that they were not going to meet the time. So I really struggled about whether to go ahead and cut them off or to let them keep going. And I decided that the true purpose of this test was to know where they were at. So I went ahead and I just threw the time out the window, and I just let them do the test. Okay? So there you go too. Now, there are 4 scores here. The test is broken into raw scores, grade equivalent scores, percentile scores, and stay 9 scores. So the raw scores, you can pause the video if you need to so you can read that. But it says raw scores are the actual number of correct answers within a given test section and are used to calculate the grade equivalent, percentile, and stay 9 scores. They should not be used for any kind of comparison or statistical calculation since each test section varies in the difficulty and number of questions. The grade equivalent scores, that's obviously, it just tells you what grade the child for that subject, what grade they are equivalent to, and the first number will be the year, the grade year, like 10th grade, 7th grade. The second number that's separated by decimal point will be like the month. So if it says like 10.5, that means they are equivalent of the 5th month of a sophomore year. The percentile scores show you that, so like here it says, if it says that a child is in the 73 percentile, that means that the child did better than 73% of the other students taking the test. Okay? The stay 9 scores is derived from the term standard score and the 9-unit scale. Okay, so that's stay 9. So it says here that stay 9 scores are useful in calculating means, correlation, coefficients, and other statistics which are meaningful to test evaluators. Okay? So you get a score of 1 through 9, with 1 being the lowest and 9 being the highest. Okay? And 5 is average. Okay, and then 6 is slightly above average, 7 well above average, and so on. Okay? Alright. So I think I'm ready to show you here and go over this with you. But like I said, this is just for an encouragement. Okay? Alright. Okay, so I tried to cover up their personal information here. Okay? All right, so this is my oldest. All right, so as you can see here, it gives the grade entering. So she was entering the 8th grade, and the Christian Liberty Press had graded it in the middle of July here. Okay, so for her reading, for the vocabulary, her raw score was 40, and she had a grade equivalent of 13.6. So that would be like the first year and a half out of high school. And she did better than 99% of others taking the test, and her stay 9 was 9. Comprehension, finishing high school, so you can see here. Math, okay, now like I said in math, remember every year we use a different math program. Okay, so she had just finished 7th grade, and she was equivalent to the 10th grade, and she did better than 76%, and she had a well above average stay 9. And then the second part of math, she was a year and a half out of high school, and did better than 98% of others taking the test, and had 9 for the stay 9, which is the highest level. Okay, so right there, encouragement. Okay, like I said, every year we do a different math program, and I have always been so fearful of gaps, and so this kind of gave me some confidence to know that maybe there are some things we need to work on, but look, she was still above. Like I said, she just finished 7th grade, and so that was pretty good. And the language, like I said, it had been about a year since they had a formal, a formal language arts program. So here for language, again, she had finished 7th grade, and she had got, the middle way of her sophomore year, towards the end of her 9th grade year, and then finishing up her sophomore year as well. So, you can see that she did surprisingly well considering our back and forth on different curriculums. Okay? So, encouragement, people. Okay? So don't beat yourself up too hard. Okay? All right. So that was my 8th grader, 7th grade at that time. And then I paid an extra, I think it was $3 to get the composite scoring, because I didn't really know what that was, so I just wanted all the scores that they would give me. So I just paid an extra $3 for that. Okay, so again, here's the subjects that she was tested in. And then here's it broken down into reading battery, reading percentile, reading stay 9. Okay. All right. And then her total, you can see here that her total composite, so everything, all of those subjects combined, she did better than 91% taking the test, and had a stay 9 of 8, which is a high level. Okay? So, there you go. Now, my youngest, who had just finished 4th grade, you can see that it looks like she did better than her older sister. I mean, not better like in, well, I'll show you again. You can see like her highest here is like 11th grade, and my oldest, had 12th grade and grade 13. So not better as in that, but better compared to more years between her actual grade and what they're saying here than what my oldest did. I will say that my youngest, she has not had as many different math programs as my oldest. My youngest did Abeka for the first 2 years, and then Singapore, and then now she's doing teaching textbooks, and she's been doing that for the last 2 years, I guess. Okay, so she's only had 3, whereas my oldest has had, 8 or 9 different math programs. Okay? So, take what you want from that. Okay, so my youngest, who had finished 4th grade, she was like reading vocabulary here, towards the end of her sophomore year, halfway through her junior year, and she did better pretty much in everything than like 94 to 99% of other students taking the test, and her stay 9 was high level and then the highest level available. So, and again, like I said, math and language, not much going on with, not having to do language really for like a year. And so she had got, into high school level here. Okay. And then her composite scoring, I had also paid the extra $3 for as well. So you can see that the total, she did better than 99% taking the test and had the stay 9 of 9, which was the highest level. Okay? All right, people. So like I had said, this was just for an encouragement, and I really strongly debated on showing you this. That's why it's been a couple months, because I just could not decide how I really felt about showing this or not. But I really, really thought, and I hope that, this would help encourage you if you're just feeling like, like, man, every year we switch math programs or we switch language or we keep switching. We can't find the one that works. My kids are just going to be doing horrible. Okay, I really hope that this encourages you to show you that, that may not be the case. Okay, so anyhow, well, thank you for watching, and I hope you have a great day. Bye.